The terrifying bird mask that defines the medieval Black Death was actually invented 300 years after the apocalypse ended. Everything you picture when you imagine a medieval plague doctor is from the completely wrong century. Medical history records show that the legendary beak costume was devised in Paris by a royal physician named Charles Delorme. He designed this sealed leather suit in 1619. That means during the actual 14th century pandemic, which wiped out half of Europe, the famous mask simply did not exist. So what did real medical professionals actually wear when the Black Death struck in 1348? They had absolutely zero physical protection. Real medieval doctors possessed no heavy leather suits, no thick gloves, and definitely no aromatic face shields. These desperate men walked directly into highly infected, suffocating homes wearing nothing but ordinary, wide-open academic scholar robes. One of these completely exposed men was Guy de Chauliac. He held the highest medical status in the Western world, serving as the personal physician to Pope Clement VI. When the deadly pathogen finally breached the massive stone walls of the papal court in Avignon, total panic erupted in the streets. Wealthy elites and fellow doctors immediately abandoned the city, fleeing into the countryside to save their own lives, but Chauliac refused to run. He recorded in his personal journals that to avoid the total infamy of abandoning his post, he forced himself to stay behind. He chose to remain in the absolute epicenter of the crisis, treating hundreds of agonizing victims while breathing the exact same deadly air in his unsealed cloth vestments. But his professional duty came with a terrifying physical price. Without a single layer of armor against the biological threat, Chauliac's luck inevitably ran out. He contracted the lethal bubonic plague himself. He collapsed onto his bed with a continuous burning fever as an agonizing black tumor swelled deep in his groin. For 6 agonizing weeks, he lingered on the absolute brink of death inside his isolated quarantine chamber. The most famous healer in Europe was now his own desperate patient. Yet somehow, his immune system fought off the microscopic killer. He miraculously survived, becoming a rare, fully documented survivor of the 1348 outbreak. Instead of claiming a miraculous divine intervention, he immediately picked up his pen. He used his own brutal physical agony as raw clinical data. Chauliac meticulously wrote the medical text known as the Chirurgia Magna. He recorded his own horrific symptoms and accurately documented how the 2 different strains of the virus actually behaved in the human body. His first-hand survival logs quickly became the definitive medical field manual for the rest of the Middle Ages. Real 14th century doctors never hid behind a creepy mythical leather bird mask. They faced the deadliest pandemic in human history completely exposed, relying on raw, unprotected courage to study an apocalypse face to face.